sorry. I didn't see you there. Just give me one moment. You be fucking quiet. Do you understand me?
Yes, mistress.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Violet, and you may have seen me in comedy clubs around the city. My name is also Mistress Waffle, and you may have seen me in dungeons across the city. But we're not here to talk about dungeon techniques today. We're here to talk about the things that get you into dungeons, and that is the big bad world of online banging. And tonight, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks of the trade that will allow you to be successful in your online banging endeavors and make sure that you do that thing that we all want most, and that is to bang, which is the true key to be able to end up in a place like this, my dungeon. So come along with me and let's discuss some tips of the trade to make sure that you get banged tonight. So the key with online banging is knowing the differences between the different websites and apps that are available to you. And we're going to start with one of the biggest websites that's out there, and that is OkCupid. And the key with OkCupid is learning how to approach it with the correct attitude. I usually use it with the attitude, which is a combination of a case of the I don't give a fucks and brutal honesty. Now, most men say that my attitude like this is quite refreshing. I think they mean that I'm easy, because I am. But that's neither here nor there. So what you want to do with this newfound attitude is to apply it to your profile. And the best way to do that is by taking the section that says the most private thing that I'm willing to admit and write about something that is very real to you, such as a fear, because fear invokes vulnerability and vulnerability invokes banging. I think fear is the way to go with this. And the way that I use it is by approaching the very real and very serious issue that is mouth rape. And mouth rape can be simply defined as that time that you fall asleep on the subway and your head tilts back and your mouth is wide open. And then some weirdo comes by and sticks their finger in your mouth. It is a very real, and legitimate fear of mine, mostly because my father used to do it to me as a child, but we're not here to talk about dads and rape tonight. Excuse me one moment. Did I give you permission to fucking laugh?
No, mistress.
Get down here. Fucking stay where I put you. Don't talk. I apologize for that. So the next app that we're going to talk about is probably one of the ones that's most hated and discussed on the internets right now, and that is Tinder. And Tinder's really great, but I think people are really using it wrong, and that's where the hatred comes from. But I don't really understand why, because it's really fucking fantastic. But I think that the reason why people don't really like it is because they're using it wrong. Now, if you approach Tinder as a networking app, such as LinkedIn, you'll find that you could have very successful endeavors in it, not only because you have an opportunity to meet new people that can do great things for your life, but you could also bang them at the end of the evening. And you're going to meet new people that could actually end up furthering your career. For example, I've met writers and actors and editors and producers and fetish porn directors. Basically, all I need to do now is meet an agent and I'll be able to make one hell of a film. And if you go back and look at that list again, it'll actually start to read like the Craigslist creative gigs ads section, which is kind of interesting. But it brings us to our next website, which is Craigslist. And Craigslist is pretty much the bastion of where online banging goes to die, which makes it really fucking awesome in that approach, because you could do whatever the hell you want and nobody gives a shit. And that's fucking brilliant. So what I suggest for you to do tonight, if you choose to use Craigslist, is to go on, create the most bullshit thing that you could think of, post it, and then just wait for the spam to roll in. And you'll probably end up banging yourself at the end of the night than another person. But hey, at least you get banged, and that's really kind of the point, right? Right. To go off onto another path, I'm going to tell you about an interesting website that's called Name Your Price. And this one's kind of for the ladies. So ladies, what you do is you go onto the website, you create your profile, and then you just wait for the creepy old men to start sending you winks. And when you get those winks, you just pick an arbitrary number, such as 69 or 73 or 666, which really is the most successful number for me, mostly because I think it requires a little bit of worship the Satan to actually get through these miserable fucking dates with these terrible people that are willing to pay you $666 to basically amuse you over a really shitty dinner somewhere in Midtown near their kind of okay corporate hotel. Really, who gives a shit? Because at the end of the night, that money's going to go in your pocket and you're going to get a meal and everyone's going to go home happy. Maybe not the guys, because it's not for them really, because it's not really a banging site, but hey, you get to make money, women. That's all that fucking matters, okay? So the next website that we're going to talk about is my personal favorite, and that is FetLife. And Fet is short for fetish. So it's like fetish life. FetLife is a website that is basically known as the Facebook for kinksters, because you get to do things that's very similar to Facebook. For example, on Facebook, you might like a brand like Colgate, so you could receive updates about that. On FetLife, you get to pick kinks that you like. For example, pizza deprivation, which is one of my personal favorites. Yes. And waffles, because they're very delicious. Right. So you could put up a profile. You could meet people with similar fetishes to yourself. You could go to events such as ad dungeons like this, or orgies, or learning things where you learn things like how to set people on fire, which is a lot of fun. Yes, fun. And you could also go ahead and meet people and then define relationships. So recently I've met someone who's actually very near and dear to me. They are absolutely obedient and is very adorable when they're on their knees in front of me. And I just can't wait to make the relationship FetLife official. I'm so excited. It's so sweet. So anyways, that brings us to the conclusion of our tips and tricks segment tonight, and apply this into your own personal life and be able to go out and successfully bang tonight online. If you have any questions, you could find me all over the place. You just Google Violet and eventually you'll find me, or Waffles or whatever. But I'm around and I'm always willing to help. So again, go forth and fuck, and good night and good luck.